Hi, I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and I want to welcome you guys all to my channel. Today's going to be a little different. We're going to do a booth tour, not only one, but all three. I do have 3 vendor booths, and I'm sure if you've been following along my channel for a while, I have been talking about stocking my vendor booths, and I've kind of given you glimpses of some of my booths at some point. But I have been hearing a lot of feedback that you want to see what my vendor booths look like. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity to get you in there, see what they look like prior to me doing that fall flip that I'm going to be doing mid-August. Now, when I went in there to take the footage, I was just very surprised that many of the booths already have done flips. They're already totally full of fall. I'm like, am I behind schedule or are they just far too early? And to be honest, I think they're just far too early. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to flip it in mid-August. So I'm gonna bring you along, show you the 3 booths. Now, if these are types of videos that you do like to see, like a DIY, furniture flips, or just a day in the life of a small business owner, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so when I do release videos every Monday and Friday, you are notified. And then if this is the type of video that you liked, go ahead, hit like, and I want to know out of all 3 booths, which one was your favorite. So go ahead in the comments at the end, tell me which one was your favorite and what you liked most. All right, so on to booth number 1. Booth number 1 is the Yield Goat. This has been my longest standing booth that I've had. When I did get my first booth in the Goat, I did have a single, so it was 8 by 15 roughly is what I had. And I just felt like it was not a big enough booth. So when it was offered to me to upgrade to a double, I grabbed it without even hesitation. So my booth now is a 16 by 30. It was a very, very large space. So I had to do something. So I created that pergola within that space. It was nice because at my old, when I did have my own storefront several years ago, I had a pergola in there, so I had it in storage. So I pulled it out, set it all up, and it just worked out perfect. So booth number 2 is Antique Up. Now this booth, I used to share with my mom. We split it 50-50. So each had roughly 8 by a 15 space. And my mom has decided to take a step back. She wanted to downsize to 1 booth. So she has her 1 booth at the Goat, and I took over the full booth. This was a bit challenging, just trying to get that entire booth filled this summer. I've been flipping pieces, trying to get my staple pieces in the booth, and then getting all my smalls in there as well. So that has been a challenge, trying to stock that booth up and then get my other booths continue to be stocked. So it's going really well. I was a little nervous taking on double the rent because I was doing really well with just the single. So but now, I've had it now for 2 months, and I've been doing really well. Each month I've seen a progression of sales. I just need to get it fully stocked. If you do not have a fully stocked booth, you're gonna have a problem paying your rent. Now, booth number 3, it is Water Street Vintage, and this is by far my smallest booth. If I had the opportunity to get a larger booth, I absolutely would. So I've already let them know my barn quilts are very large, And I like to have quite a few in the booth just because to have options for people to buy them. And so an 8x10 booth, I've had to really maximize the space that I use every square inch vertically. And you're gonna see that in this booth. This, even though it's the smallest of the three, this one has moved to the top of my sales. So I love my large booths, but I have to make my booth rent first and then make my month, or make so much per for my month. So this has been very successful, even though it is such a small booth. So which one was your favorite? Honestly, I know it's very hard to compare an 8x10 booth to a 16x30. It definitely is, but they are all so unique in their own ways, and I love them all. I'm looking at when I do my fall flip, I'm gonna change a few things in my Yield Goat booth. So many of you have asked, what did you do with that 30 pane window? I'm gonna use it in the Yield Goat. So you're gonna have to see what I do with that. And then I have many shows that I'm prepping for, but my biggest show, as I talked about in my last video, is Cranberry Fest. And seriously, folks, it is the Super Bowl of vendor events. So I started already. I made my list. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I just feel very unorganized because I'm so used to doing events every weekend that I just knew exactly what I needed. Now I haven't done them for over a year, and I don't have everything pulled into one area. So I always had all my display pieces ready, set to go. I had those kind of all put away. So I drew out how I wanted to set my booth up, got that all set, what I wanted to bring. And then I remembered, oh my gosh, I have to rent my U-Haul. So gotta do that. there's just little things that I have to get done to prep for that. And yes, it's 2 months away, but I like to make several of each item because that's how good they sell. So Monday, I don't know yet what I'm gonna do for a video. Maybe a thrift flip, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But I want you all to enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you Monday.